Look directly at the monitor.
Now this is my kind of therapy.
That's food for thought.
To another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! You are not Advertiser Friendly! Yes, episode number 21. We are finishing off the third week of this wonderful madness, mayhem, carnage, and chaos. And oh my goodness, tonight's episode is a movie that I have always wanted to watch. Just because I've seen the VHS cover at the video store, the movie poster, and it just looks so intriguing. Plus, it's one of those classic movies that starts with the word don't. Like, don't go into the woods alone. Or don't go into the basement. Or don't answer the phone. You know, those type of movies. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this one a try because I just love that artwork on the VHS cover. And honestly, I miss those days. They had some really great cover art or really great poster art. Nowadays, it seems very bland and uninspired and really kind of annoys me. But anyways, getting back. So this movie, I thought, you know what? It's time for me to check this one off the list. And that movie is called Don't Go Into the House. Yes. So what is Don't Go Into the House about? Well, it's about this guy who was abused by his mother while he was a kid. Whenever he did something bad, she would turn on the stove and then burn his arms to burn the evil out of him anyway. So he has this now preoccupation with flame, and one day his mom dies, probably of old age or whatever anyways, and this freaking snaps him because there's all of a sudden voices in his head saying, "You're free. Yes, you're..." Well, it's more whispery to him, but I don't want to whisper because I don't know if you'll hear it. But anyways, "You're free now. You can do whatever you want." And of course, he acts like kind of a kid. I mean, this guy is definitely emotionally stunted. And does all this stuff, and the voices compel him to punish his mother, who he still hears her voice, still taunted by her memory. And so what does he do? Well, he creates himself a flamethrower, gets himself this really cool flame suit, and then he goes and, well, burns her, and then finds young ladies so that he can punish them too by burning them alive. Yes. And so we get this particularly gruesome scene where he's got this girl strung up naked, and he just goes and basically torches her. Barbecue City. Anyways, he takes the bodies and dresses them up and puts them in a room and talks to them, and they talk back. And oh man, it's just a movie about madness and mayhem. He's got a friend where he works who's really concerned about him, and he wants to help. But yeah, anyways, this movie is definitely more of a movie like Maniac than your standard slasher, stalker, killer fare. And so let's get to those scores. Violence and gore, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. While the I guess the scene where the naked girl is torched is pretty gruesome, and you get some nasty charred bodies. Really, there's not much else violent going on. besides maybe another torching. But to me, it's pretty tame, so I'm just going to give it a 2 out of 5. I mean, burning alive is pretty violent, but I don't know. It's nothing like super, super disgusting. I don't know. Anyways, so 2 out of 5. Shock value, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 because there are actually a couple good shocks in there that I did not see coming that just came out of nowhere and really got you. And it was freaky. And I always give props to a movie that can jolt me like that, especially when, you know, it's not one of those where, you know, the buildup is there and you're just waiting for it and it does happen. No, this one, especially the first one, just, you know, just, wow, damn, pretty good job. Also the fact that, you know, torching naked girl on fire is also pretty shocking anyway. So 3 out of 5. Plot, I am giving this a 2 out of 5. Look, there are just too many plot conveniences. Like when he's going out for girls, I mean, he happens to find a girl who's having car trouble. Is he just driving along the highway during the day looking for a female who's having car trouble? Is that what's going to happen? He just happens to drive by a bar where 2 drunk girls are coming out and they really are desperate for a ride. I mean, you know, a little too much convenience, and also the fact that like his friend. I mean, they do no development of any of his friend there. Like, why is he his friend? It doesn't even seem like. It seems like this guy is a loser and a loner, and they really didn't do a good job of developing why his friend is his friend and really cares about him. It felt weird in a way, and like who's this guy and why would he be talking to him? And so anyways, the plot is really weak. It's but then again, it's about madness and mayhem, and so I guess you don't really need anything too strong plot wise. But like I was saying before, it reminds me a lot more of Maniac, where the whole movie is basically in the point of view of the killer and him dealing with his issues, and of course that meaning that way of him dealing with them is of course murder, and the way he's trying to, like, you know, stop himself, and the way he's like trying to fight against it and things like that. So I mean, it's definitely interesting in that aspect, but yeah, for a straight up horror film, the plot itself is pretty weak. So anyways, 2 out of 5. Acting, this is probably like the weakest part of the movie. 1.5 out of 5. My goodness, I have not seen such stilted, emotionless acting in a bunch of movies. And I mean, I've seen some pretty bad movies, but oh my god, this is some really bad acting, which is crazy because it's so uneven, because there are scenes where you're like, okay, you know, this is actually kind of good. I kind of am digging his performance, and then all of a sudden it's just like bad, like just I don't know. It's not that great. So 1.5 out of 5. Nudity, I am giving a 1.75 out of 5. I mean, you do get quite a bit of the titties from the naked girl before she gets torched, and there is at his place of work, some guy has a pin-up in his locker that's showed quite prominently. But other than that, not too much. So 1.75 out of 5. Oh, enjoyment factor here is going to be a 2.75 out of 5. Look, I am disappointed in this movie. This movie had potential to be something crazy, but instead it kind of went the route of being in the point of view of the killer. So there is no like pretense of mystery in this movie. You don't get the whole like movie about like just random women who are just being stalked and burnt alive. No, it's about this guy having these mental problems, losing his mind, listening to the voices in his head which are prodding him to do wrong, and calling him now he's the master of the flame. And while I understand and appreciate that aspect of the film, in the end it felt pretty lacking. There wasn't a lot of violence. There was like scenes that just felt kind of pointless and made the movie run a bit longer than maybe it should have. And I really thought that it would be cooler if it was kind of the mysterious guy dressed up in the burn suit, because the burn suit actually, when he's in there, he looks menacing and he's kind of scary. But all in all, the guy is just a real sad, pathetic, and pitiful person that you kind of feel bad for, but yet you also go, he's a murderous jackass. And and I know, and I do understand, like, especially the ending where they show, like, what happens to, like, this kid watching TV, and there's a sort of this anti-parental abuse message going on there, and I can appreciate and understand that. That's why I'm not giving it a 2.5. I am giving it a little extra credit because of that. But in the end, I can't help but feel disappointed in the whole experience. I wish I could say that this movie is good, but it's just kind of, it's almost there. Almost there. Maybe a few different elements or some better elements, but in the end, I found it to be disappointing. I mean, I didn't mind the movie. I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's particularly good. It's okay. So 2.75 out of 5. My overall impression is 2.5 out of 5. It's definitely has a lot of flaws, and it's hard to overcome them without having, some really kick-ass stuff going on in there. And there are some good scenes. There are scenes in this movie which are cool and which are kind of amazing, but yet the entire package just doesn't do enough and falls flat, in my opinion, even though I do respect the film and think that, it's definitely on the edge of being something, but in the end, it just falls a little short. So 2.5 out of 5. That averages out to a 2.2 out of 5. So there you have it. Don't go into the house, which is a good idea, because everybody who seems to go in the house gets a little singed. Anyways, tell me what you think. Have you seen Don't Go in the House? Leave a comment. Tell me, do you agree with my assessment or do you totally disagree? And this is a classic. It is a wholly underrated film. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Anyways, until next time, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever you gotta do. Anyways, and I will see you in the next episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And remember to stay sexy, to stay scary, and remember, man, flame retardant clothing probably isn't going to save you once he strips you naked. So, never mind, but, yeah, don't go home with strangers. Don't get into those cars. You never know. You might just get burned. Oh, wow, that was a bad one. My apologies. Rah!